Stewart, Billy, got this drinking thing to keep me from thinking things. Is there better lyrics to songs than country songs, especially that classic stuff? I want to thank Jimmy McDonough for joining us, and definitely check out that book, I Am the Honky Tonk. It's just incredible stuff. We got more coming up, including a little tribute to Bumps Blackwell. Here's some Little Richard right here. It's the Rhythm Revival, WMNF Tampa.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Ryland Barton. Former Attorney General Pam Bondi refused to answer questions on President Trump's involvement in the release of the Epstein files during a closed-door congressional hearing today, according to
/100.
Well, it's Saturday night and I just got paid. Fool about my money, don't try to save. My heart say go, go. Have a time cause it's Saturday night. Now I'm feeling fine. I'm gonna rock it up. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it up. Gonna burn it up. I'm gonna rock it up.
5, the Rhythm Revival. Man, some Little Richard there. That song produced and co-written by a guy named Robert Blackwell. Robert Bumps Blackwell, born May 23rd, 1918 in Seattle, Washington. Born into a musical family. And Billy had a jazz group in the 1940s.
Right.
That Bumps Blackwell did. In his band were Ray Charles and Quincy Jones.
Yeah, wow.
How's that?
Yeah.
And he also produced Lloyd Price. He arranged and produced Sam Cooke's You Send Me. He worked with Larry Williams and the Guitar Slim, Things I Used to Do. We're going to hear that in just a second with Ray Charles on it. But first, we're going to hear a story. This is a book by Billy Vera called Rip It Up. It's the specialty record story. That's a record label that Little Richard was on and that Bumps Blackwell got hired to pick songs and hire people. And he brought this guy named Little Richard, and they didn't really, he was just standard. There was nothing too exciting. They're recording them. Not much is going on. And then something happens. Billy's going to read about it right now. This is the story behind Tutti Frutti.
Art Roop dispatched Bumps to meet Richard in New Orleans and do 8 sides at casinos. The fact that he was willing to spring for 2 dates tells us he must have heard something in this pesky singer. This before he'd even laid eyes on him. 2 sessions were booked for September 14, 1955, morning and afternoon. The band was made up of the city's top players, including the rock and tenor sax soloist Lee Allen and master drummer Earl Palmer. The morning session resulted in nothing special. One track cut was Baby, the tune Richard had resulted the morning session, that tune Richard had purloined from Billy Wright. Another called I'm Just a Lonely Guy was written by the local songwriter Dorothy Labastre, who would later come up with Irma Thomas's You Can Have My Husband, but Please Don't Mess With My Man, a favorite among the local prostitutes who populated the bar stools in the city's red light district. Not much to show for a morning's work, so a lunch break was called into order. Bumps recall, so we go over to the Dewdrop Inn, and of course, Richard's like any other ham. There's a piano, and he gets to going and starts singing, Wop, Baba, Loo, Baba, Hot Goddamn. Tutti Frutti, good booty. I said, now that's a hit. I knew the lyrics were just a little too lewd, then it would never have gotten played on the air. So, spotting Dorothy Labastre at another table, he asked if she could clean up the song. 15 minutes before the session was to end, the chick comes in and puts these little trite lyrics in front of me. I put them in front of Richard, and he says he's got no voice left. I said, Richard, you got to sing it.
Womp bum loom bum lump bum bum to the boot, oh root, to the boot, oh root, to the boot, oh root.
Hey there, if you have an extra car but no time to sell it, you could just donate it to support WMNF. Learn more at WMNF.org or call 888-WMNF-885.
Hi, this is Miss Julie. Our next week-long membership drive begins at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, June 3rd, and goes through the morning of June 10th. We're seeking volunteers to help take calls, tally donations, and food donors to help feed those hardworking and incredible volunteers. Restaurants, caterers, or chefs can find out more about donating drinks, snacks, or full meals by calling me at 813-238 8001 or email missjulie@wmnf.org. I can also help get you registered to volunteer. Just be in touch. Thanks.
Dungaree, red jacket, short. If you please, my boogie woogie, boogie woogie, boogie woogie, country girl.
At the end of it, one of the great songs, one of the great classics of all time. And what makes it even more of a classic was he was 19 years old.
Wow.
And he had the voice and the command of somebody who lived, well, he lived a hard life, Little Willie John in particular. I've just been reading about King Records, which is the label that brought him out, and boy, he was a handful. He died in prison, but when they put him in the recording studio, they were just, it all came out. And that, Peggy Lee, it's been done by everybody, but there's something just haunting about his version of it. There's just, you feel that soul coming out. Then we had Have Mercy Baby by Billy Ward and the Dominoes, one of the first groups that really blended the gospel quartets that you've heard here and the rhythm and blues. And they come out with 60 Minute Man, but Have Mercy Baby with Clyde McPhatter singing, then Boogie Woogie Country Girl by the Big Joe Turner. We play Big Joe Turner every week, which is the way it should be done anyway. So at any rate, you're listening to the Rhythm Revival, and we're going to play just a little bit of one here, and then we're going to pop into some news. How about a little bit of Wynonna? Yeah, let's play a little bit of this.
Talking about chicken and rice.
We'll be right back after the news and views and Bokus of Mr. C himself. Come on in here, Daddy-O.
All right. Thanks, Reverend Billy, and good afternoon. I'm Chris Young with the WMNF News Headlines at 5:30. Pinellas County and the Army Corps of Engineers signed off on an updated agreement making it easier for the county to access federal dollars to nourish its coastline. Now, local, state, and federal leaders gathered in North Reddington Beach to celebrate the agreement years in the making. High near 90. I'm Chris Young with the WMNF News Headlines at 5:36 on 88.5 FM and WMNF.org.
There you go. The original by a woman named Lula Reed with the Sonny Thompson Band on King Records. And then we heard, of course, probably the more popular version by Ray Charles. He was on Atlantic at the time, and they let him pretty much do what he wanted, and it just has that soul to it, He brings in the Raylettes, and he slows it down. You listen to hers, it's a little more up-tempo, and his is just that, it's just right behind the beat a little bit, and that's what gives it the soul. I think that's what makes the whole thing work. Where are you going this weekend? You going to be on the air?
Yep, tomorrow, 60 show, noon to 2.
That's kind of a whole different groove than this show, right, for you?
Well, there's a little crossover, definitely.
Right,
definitely.
right. Okay.
And I've, learned stuff being on this show for 12 years.
Wow. 12 years we've been doing this?
We've been doing it 12 years in June.
Good gracious. That's great.
Crazy.
Oh, I love doing it. It's worth coming down here every week from Ocala, absolutely.
The time just has flown
I know.
by.
It's
so much fun.
Yeah.
Learn so much.
Well, we have a good time too, and then there was a lot of fun with Ronnie, and we've had a legacy on this show that's continued, and Marvin. I think the term force of nature is applicable here. And the pot's calling the kettle black. So at any rate, and speaking of which, I'm going to be over at the New World Brewery tomorrow night. That's always fun. It's, kind of more of a family thing. I can play outside and the kids will come out and I'll play stuff for the kids. Oh, the kids will, there's that picture of them with them crowded around the piano. I invited one of them to come up and I play a song and like the kids QC, and I say, okay, now play that note right there. Well, you know, if there's one, there's going to be 6 of them all there going bing, 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 bing. You know, it looks like this new age jazz by the time it's all done. And then I'm going to be over down there at Jake's Landing, all the way down to Bradenton with Denise and all my friends. I love that place. I mean,
looks like a great venue.
It is great, and the crowd is great. I get people from this show, and then, you know, I've got a syndicated show on WSLR, one of our sister stations, on Saturdays. And so I get folks from there coming down, and look, the music I have a great time playing, and I do a lot of my own stuff and then some old classics. And the sunsets are,
oh, wow.
Patty, I'm telling you, I've been to Colorado and all those other places in Norway.
Yeah.
I've never seen any more beautiful sunsets than across that body of water down there in Bradenton. And then I stop at the local Publix on the way out and get me a cheesesteak to get me back to Ocala, and everybody's happy. But I'll be there tomorrow about 5, and looking forward to a great weekend. I don't know, what if I...
And don't forget, too, next week is our fund drive. So we're going to be depending on our wonderful listeners to help us meet what I'm sure is a big goal.
Yes.
And
they always give us a pretty good nut to make, and we make it with your help. But you know, we're all going to be here, and it's going to be it's going to be a great time. I'm going to play one right now, and I played this several times on this show, but I always play this for Sarasota Slim and Liz and Dr. Blues and all the other folks that make a living out here in the music business. This is one by Marie Adams, and this is for you. Turn it up a little bit.
Streaming platforms, opinions and counter opinions. It's enough to make your head spin. But on Saturday, May 30th at 2 p.m. in the WMNF studios, you can join Living Mirror as we explore finding peace in a chaotic world. It's our season finale. For more information and free tickets, go to WMNF.org/events.
In the Bible days,
Every show we do is special, but today was a 5-star. That was just wonderful having Jimmy call in and some great music, and Marvin did just a killer interview. It's a pleasure. By the way, you're listening to WMNF 88.5. Tell them what they got coming up after us.
After us, we have Steve the Hitman, and he's already over there setting up for his show. And following that, I can't find my list. There it is. The Soul Kitchen with Big Eddie G and David Bryant, and then Flashback Friday with the great Chuck Core Jr.
Thank you so very much. And on behalf of myself, Sister Patty,
and P. Daddy, who's not here.
P. Daddy, who's here in spirit, and Marvelous Marvin, who's always here in spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, really, Reverend Billy saying, "No, plant you now and dig you later, because you're nothing but a fine little foxy, fat, sweet potato." Good night, Big Kenny. Good night, David.
WMNF Tampa.
Didn't I say that?
No.
I thought I did.
No.
Oh, well. WMNF Tampa. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Ryland Barton. A federal judge is temporarily blocking the Trump administration's nearly $1.8 billion fund.
The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. RWJF is a national philanthropy working toward a future where health is no longer a privilege, but a right. Learn more at rwjf.org.
Support for WMNF comes from our members and Florida State University. The purchase of Florida State University specialty license plates helps support scholarships for deserving students at FSU. More information on FSU specialty plates can be found online at fsu.edu/mytag.
Music. Join the Soul Party every Saturday from 9 to 12 midnight Ain't no crime. We always go back in time with the solid gold sounds of WMNF, the Soul Party. Join Steve the Hitman, the original rockin', Get Down Ponder, Brad the Slick, you and I strutting with Sudden and the DOC. It's the Soul Party. Don't you dare miss it. Powered by Tampa Bay, Van McCoy. It's entitled The Hustle. 610 on the downgrade. Good evening, Tampa Bay, on a TGIF Friday. Steve, the Hitman Williams, on your radio now until 8 p.m. Big shouts going out to Nate and Katie on last week, doing a great job. Special guest DJ. 1966. Here comes Little Stevie. Stevie Wonder is uptight.